What's up, guys? Happy Saturday morning, and welcome to the very first episode of Gloved Up. I am your host, Ryan Aarons, and we're a derivative of Realism Sports Talk. Shout out to Terrell Jenkins for giving us the opportunity. I'm excited, kind of nervous, but I'm excited. This is going to be a wild journey, and I can't wait to bring the UFC, MMA, and fight culture to you, the fans. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Alex versus Izzy in a 287 recap. Wow, what a fight card. A little Jorge Masvidal v. Burns as well off that same card. What's next for Gilbert Burns? We don't know. He's talking a lot of shit. He's expecting a lot of shit, but also planning on not doing a whole lot of shit. And you know what? We're also going to talk about this fight coming up later tonight. Max Holloway, Arnold Allen. I mean, wow, what a banger that's going to be. So let's get started. Let's just jump right into it and let's get rolling, baby. I'm just so excited to be here and to bring my opinions, my takes, and my bets. Hopefully win y'all a little bit of money. Hopefully gain y'all a little bit of knowledge. Let's just get right into it. Alex versus Israel Adesanya. Their fourth fight total. Their second in the UFC. I mean, what a banger. I honestly, I hate that it was cut short. I wish that would have gone all five. But these guys are just too good. They know each other too well. Excuse me, morning coffee. What more could we want from them? I mean, they've just given us two great fights in the UFC. They know each other really well. A hot take, I think Alex looked great. I think he was crispier. I think his striking was way better. But again, how much better of a striker could he be? He's top 5 in the world, in my opinion, in striking. I just think Israel had his number. As we've seen Alex Pereira do time after time after time, when he thinks he smells blood in the water, his hands go right here. What's the number one rule in the octagon? Defend yourself at all times. You can't do that when your hands are at your waist loading on your punches. They want to be up here, as we all know. You know, the fans, you know this. So, but Alex has that one tap power. He challenges people to test his chin as he's trying to come in to finish you. He's almost overconfident on his chin. And remember, he's a natural 225er. He walks around at 225 pounds. And we all know when you drain and cut that much weight, your chin kind of goes too. You're draining your chin durability. And this time, he wasn't necessarily clocked on his chin. He was more like overhand right to the head. But he challenged his opponent. He challenged the wrong opponent. And Israel caught him sleeping and made him sleep. I mean, it was the most catastrophic KO of a champion that I've seen in the last, well, aside from Kamaru Usman's knockout, that was catastrophic too. Top 2 catastrophic KOs in the last couple years. It was just, I mean, boom, boom, and then the follow-up hammer from the gods right to the chin. I mean, it was just awesome. I mean, how could you want a better story for Israel Adesanya to finally slay his boogeyman? But also that leaves us wondering as a fan, what's next? We kind of want to see the trilogy. This second fight wasn't asked for. Alex Pereira wasn't out there promoting, I want him to come back. Izzy really just kind of sat back in the cut saying, if that's my next fight, I would be happy to try and regain my title. Will we see these two push for a third? Or I have right here, what if Pereira decides to go up to 205? I'm not going to be disappointed at that. In fact, he's the type of fighter that has come out and said multiple times, when I do something, it's a check off a box. It's not where I hang my hat. And he's done this in his entire kickboxing career. He beats his rivals, he wins titles, and he moves up. He challenges himself. And, that's admirable in a fighter, but it leaves a lot of fans hanging, especially fans of the 185 division in particular. It kind of puts not even a pin in their rivalry with Izzy. It kind of just, what Israel kind of been saying, this is the one fight to end the series. But I kind of want a rubber match. I mean, just to finally say who's the better MMA fighter, not necessarily the best kickboxer, because we know who the best kickboxer is. It's Alex Pereira. I mean, going 2-0, both with a decision and a brutal knockout. So to analyze the fight, I've been hearing a lot of chatter. I've been seeing a lot of interviews. Did Israel Adesanya really play possum? Did he really pretend to be hurt from that calf kick and lead him into that corner? My opinion, yeah, yes and no. I think he was really hurt. I think that calf kick hurt him. I think the combo put him in a dangerous spot. I think that he kind of got lucky and just decided to bite down on the mouthpiece and just throw the overhand rights and just pray they land. I mean, Israel's a good enough striker. They were going to land, or at least make contact with some kind of block. But I just think Israel's too smart to play with that kind of fire, especially with what's on the line, with the history that they have. But I think he knows Alex Pereira enough, and I think he went back and analyzed every fight they've had. And again, what I said to start this segment, when Alex Pereira thinks he has someone hurt and beat, he loads back into those elbows, into his low back, plants, and just starts teeing off. I mean, you saw the combo, freaking calf kick, jump knee, body shot, and then I think he was coming in for a cross. Boom! Tries to get his balance back. I mean, if it was a true possum play, hats off to Izzy, man, for playing with that fire. I just don't think that he intentionally fell back into the cage like that. I think he was genuinely hurt on the feet. But whatever. You know, the result's the result. Israel's champion again. Just to get in briefly with that, are we going to see another stagnant, stale division of the 185? I thought Pereira was bringing something fresh, man. I wanted Robert Whittaker. I'm a big Bobby Knuckles fan. I'm also a big fan of the Australian camps. They just have some great fighters coming out of there. I just want to see this division keep rolling. I want to see the fighters get better. I want to see Israel challenge everybody again. But Israel's so good. He's so good, and you can't blame him for being that good. And he's not going to go up now that there's rumors that Pereira's going up. He's not going to follow his biggest rival up. He's going to now sit back and enjoy another lap around the division, maybe. I hate it for Bobby Knuckles. I wanted a good, strong wrestler to challenge Pereira. I wanted them to possibly take it from him and let the division of wrestlers not be dominated by a brutal KO or just crispy strike artist, you know, because it's just, I'm not going to say it's fair. Obviously, be better than your opponent. But aren't we tired of seeing Israel piece people up at distance and dance around for 5 rounds? Don't we just want to see like a brutal slug wrestling match? I don't know. Maybe I'm not an Izzy hater, but I just want to see that division stay fresh. I'm tired of these stale divisions. Now, that being said, my favorite fighter of all time, Alexander Volkanovski, he's doing the same thing to 145, but at least he's a fighting champion. You know, he stands in the pocket and exchanges. He's not, you know, throwing the jab, throwing the kick, and dancing around for 5 rounds. He's beating people. I mean, he's not point pinching. He is beating the shit out of people, and I can appreciate that. I like that style. A lot of people were mad at the celebration that Izzy had. Okay. First of all, for you soft fans out there, grow up. That celebration was 100% called for. And if anything, it was probably the greatest celebration I've ever seen post-fight. And we're not just talking about the 3 arrows and the breaking of the bow. We're talking about my guy, Israel Adesanya, looking around in the crowd, pointing to Alex Pereira's son, and keeping that receipt from years ago and mocking his dad for sleeping. That has to be one of the greatest non-stories in the history of MMA. Such a good receipt to give, such a good memory to have. And you know what? You brought your kid to both fights, Alex. And Alex is out here saying, yeah, if I was in his position, I just wouldn't have done that. Well, you know what position you were in, Alex? On the floor, asleep, while your son watched this man mock you. So, shut the fuck up. honestly. Grow up. It was a great celebration. It was a great moment. That's what sports is all about. Great rivalries and timely, not out of line, shit talk. I mean, in recent news, the whole Angel Reese, and God, I can't remember her name. Lord forgive me. But like, that's just shit talk. And okay, so what if she took it a little far? Grow the fuck up. Give her that ring, bitch. Grow the fuck up. It's just good shit talk. It's good sports. Anyway, before I ramble, this is an MMA podcast. Let me stay on MMA. Let me stay in my pocket. Alex Pereira to 205. What a bombshell that could be. That would shake that division to its foundation. A weaker division than what I suspect most of you fans think. I love the champion. I love Jamal Hill. I think he's gritty, from Detroit, Michigan. Just heart of a lion, eye of the tiger. Got that dog in him. However, he's beatable. Guys, Jamal Hill is beatable. He beat a 40-year-old Glover Teixeira. I mean, ancient. Well, wasn't he almost 50? I think he was almost 50. I wish I could fact check and record at the same time. I think he was almost 50. Now, not taking anything away from Glover, Hall of Famer for sure, another grinder, another dog, but you beat an old dog. Alex Pereira is a boogeyman. Anyone that can give Israel Adesanya nightmares and give him the yips, I'm afraid of that man. I'm afraid of what he can do to that division. I think he's dangerous. But here's the dilemma. Does he get that instant title shot against Jamal Hill? I think that's what the fans want. I think that's what my daddy Dana want. But we had a little call out over the week. Jan Blachowicz, the Polish Hammer, said, "Hey Alex, if you're thinking about walking into my house, I'll greet you at the door." Wow. I mean, that would be one hell of a fight. Two guys with the power of the gods in their fists slugging it out in the middle of that octagon would just be just as good as a title shot, in my opinion, for 205. I mean, that would... But what does that mean for Jan Blachowicz? What's he putting on the line? Because you got to remember, he's at the back of the line. So, is he putting up his number, I think, what is he, 2 or 3 ranking on the line? Does that give Pereira a whole jump of the division? What does that mean for Anthony Smith? What does that mean for Magomed Ankalaev? If Jan Blachowicz goes down to sleep against Alex Pereira, what does that mean for the division? Does Alex just say, hey, I beat the doorman up, now I want a spot on the couch? One of you motherfuckers needs to get up, and I want to sit next to Jamal Hill. Is that what that means if Jan loses? I say give the man the instant title shot and be done with it. Let them fight a trilogy and put Anthony Smith at the weigh-in backup if he can ever make weight again. And I love Anthony Smith. He will probably never see this, but Anthony, you are my second favorite fighter active right now. I listen to your podcast every chance I get with Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping, shout out to you too. But make weight, man. Please. Make weight, stay healthy, and please win something. I think 205 needs an interim out there. If Alex Pereira is going to 205, bring out an interim belt. I don't want the whole division to stay stagnant because I think Pereira and Jamal need a trilogy. I think that'd be banging. But I do think Anthony Smith needs a shot at some gold sometime soon before he ages out. He's had a longer career than what most people think. He's not young in the game. He's not a young man anymore. But I want to see Anthony Smith have some, even if it's interim gold, I want to see it around his waist. He deserves it. He deserves a shot at something. He's Lionheart. I love the guy. But does Alex really need that staple landmark victory first before getting it? I think I answered that question just now. It's what you, the fans, want, really. If the fans make enough noise to see Alex fight Jamal Hill, I think Daddy Dana would do it. I think that'd bring in the numbers. I think that'd bring in the pay-per-view buys. I think merch would go off the wall. I think that's an immediate sellout if it's a main event. I think we need to see it next year. Alex Pereira needs to take time off and heal from that mentally and physically. That was a tough knockout. But how soon? Not soon at all. That would be, gosh, a December bout to end the year, maybe. But again, it's what you, the fans, want. If y'all make enough noise, Dana listens to the fans sometimes, man. I mean, he really does. He takes in consideration what they want. What's right for the division, though, is kind of neck and neck for him. All right, moving on. Sticking with 287, though, kind of fallout. Jorge v. Burns. Again, a welterweight clinic. Another Burns clinic. Burns is hot right now. I would hate to face him if I was anybody in the welterweight division. He is a dangerous man on a hot streak. That man is hungrier than he's ever been, from what I've seen. Granted, he faced a 38-year-old Masvidal who looked old, guys. It had hurt me to see that because I'm such a Masvidal fan. I think he's gritty, from the streets of Miami, fighting under Kimbo Slice when he did the street beefs or whatever it was. Gosh, I hated to see that. But Gilbert Burns is so easily likable. Anyone who ever has come to me and said they're not a Gilbert Burns fan, I mean, how do you not like that guy? He is silently dangerous. All business. Doesn't have to talk a lot of shit. Doesn't have to flaunt a lot of shit. I love the fro. I mean, everything about this guy right now is just spectacular. He's in the zone. He's fighting great. But yeah, Jorge just looked... It looked like it was his time, man. I mean, do we want the three-piece and the soda fight between him and Leon? Sure. As a fan, that's what I think should have happened to begin with. I think I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I think that would have been a more of a marquee fight, Leon versus Jorge, than Leon versus Colby Covington. I am not a Covington hater. I'm gonna start with that before I get into this. But Colby doesn't win title fights. He doesn't. He's not. He just now he might win this one, and it'll be a gritty, grindy wrestling match, which I hate for Leon because Leon's just one. He is top 3 strikers in that division, if not the best striker in that division. Now that Jorge's gone. I mean, he just is a piece-up machine. He's crispy, and he's confident right now. This version of Colby Covington is going to just zap that confidence and that willingness to fight right out. Now, granted, we saw a lot of good wrestling defense out of Leon against Kamaru Usman, too. Kamaru Usman didn't shoot a whole lot, though. Colby's going to shoot and shoot and shoot and just grind away and pound and beat up and tire out Leon for 5 rounds. Colby's not going to knock him out. Colby's not going to submit him. Colby's just going to be on him like white on rice. And it's going to be boring, grindy, gritty, sweaty. It's going to be a dull pay-per-view. They better stack that card because, I mean, Colby's just coming out there to suck the air out of the room. And I'm not a Colby hater. I think he's a great fighter. I hate his shtick. I think it's played out. Even Trump doesn't support him anymore. Trump is a Jorge Masvidal guy, man. I just think Colby needs something fresh. I think everyone's tired of it. He's not a good heel. He's corny. He's annoying. He's loud. He's not a real gangster. If anything, he's more of a pussy now. In my eyes, he took Jorge to court. I mean, Jorge did some allegedly. Sorry, Jorge allegedly gave him brain damage. Well, you obviously didn't rewire it. You didn't hit him hard enough, Jorge. I'm sorry, because Colby is just still on crack. Um, yeah, Jorge looked old, man. He looked old and worn out. God, sorry, bear with me here. My computer screen locked. Okay. Yeah, Jorge looked old. Um, Worn out. Looked like he barely made weight. Kind of soft around the hips. Didn't look sharp. I mean, normally, those counters and those combos are very crispy from Jorge, and he's very dangerous. Didn't look dangerous. Didn't look like his heart was in it. Looked like his mind was somewhere else. Just did not look like he wanted to fight as hard as he could. So, Jorge, you had a great career, man. It was awesome to see at least half of it. I should have tuned in from the beginning, man. I should have stuck with you from lightweight all the way to welterweight. Awesome. Bad motherfucker. Awesome. That Nate Diaz fight was awesome. That Ben Askren knockout was awesome. I wish you would have beat the shit out of Colby in the cage. But again, he sucks the air out of a room every time he fights. Personally, I don't know if Jorge's done with fighting. I wouldn't mind seeing him step into this like celebrity boxing platform. I think he'd do well. I think he could knock out Jake Paul for sure. I think he actually walks around at 200 pounds. So I think he has a chance. I think he definitely has a chance of, because Jake Paul's a big motherfucker. I mean, you can't be a natural 175er because Jake Paul's a natural 200 pounder or 205er. He cuts down to 185. I think you walk around 200 pounds and you meet him at 185, you have a shot. I think Jorge still has a little bit of dog in him. I mean, he's not dead. He's not dead yet. He's still got a lot of life in him. That would be interesting. I take Jorge in that matchup. Now, I have Jake Paul beating Nate Diaz. I heard, that's official now. Nate Diaz is just too small. He's too small. He's a natural 180, or 185er, walking around, or smaller actually. But Jake Paul is just too beefy. He's too heavy. He's hitting too heavy. But again, Jorge, congrats on retirement, brother. You deserve it. You set out everything you accomplished except for an actual title. But that division was just too heavy at the top, brother. I mean, you gave it your best shot. Kamar put you down. But at least you're in those fights, man. A lot of people don't even see a title fight in their career. But congrats. What's next for Burns? Let's talk about that. I'd love to see a title fight. I think he deserves the winner of Colby v. Leon after London. I think he needs to be there. I think he needs to be the backup fighter. I want to see Gilbert Burns in the O2. I think he deserves the opportunity. I think he's given this division everything he's had. I think the Hamzat fight was a bit of a fuck. I think that was a stupid matchup. I think Hamzat is just too big for welterweight. I think he needs to stay at 185, 205. I think that was a big waste of time for Gilbert Burns. I think that was dirty of Dana, actually. I don't think that fight ever should have happened. Was it a banger? Fuck yeah. That was a 3-round banger. It was a great fight. Bad matchup. Gilbert doesn't walk around at 225 pounds, Dana. I think Hamzat came in just ready to throw leather and shoot and just squeeze the shit out of Gilbert. Gilbert gave him all he could handle, and Gilbert took all he could handle. I think it was a big waste of time and a waste of energy for Gilbert, though, Dana. I think that was fucked up. I think Gilbert would be the number one contender if he had not lost to Khamzat Chimaev. Honestly. I think that was a big waste of time and waste of time in that division. So what about this? This is the last thing about this fight, and then we'll move on. Burns came out and said Jorge tried to cheat. Have y'all seen anything about this? Apparently, you're allowed to shower lotion hours prior to checking into the arena. But here's where it turns into cheating. Is if you, and this is just science, biology, fact check me, do it on your own time, see if it works. If you take a really hot shower, I'm talking steamy hot, you know the ones that ladies be taking and then use all the hot water, like, oh fuck, what the hell you doing? Well, I gotta clean myself. Like steamy hot to almost the point where your skin's raw coming out, and then dry off and lotion immediately while your pores are still open. Your pores will obviously take in that moisture like they should with any lotion. But if you do it on repeat, shower, lotion, shower, lotion, shower, lotion, wait for the lotion to dry, shower again, lotion, shower, lotion, your pores get clogged. But while you're warming up for the fight and you're getting sweaty, they excrete, making you slippery like a dolphin fresh out of water. I mean, you can't hold on to anybody. And allegedly, again with the allegedly with Jorge, because nothing's ever true with Jorge, right? That's what Jorge did. Why would he do that? Did he know he was in trouble fighting a grappler like Burns, a jiu-jitsu black belt? Maybe. Maybe he was desperate for that win, man. Maybe he knew he didn't train as hard as he should have, and he had to find a way to get out of there. Burns later retracted the statement, saying, "Oh, I was just mad because he was just a little greasy." I mean, everybody does it. Everybody does it, and it's legal. The thing is, you can't lotion. I think it is you can't lotion while you're in the arena. But the damage is done before you even arrive. I mean, if it's stacked in the pores, what's the difference? I mean, you're gonna jump rope. You're gonna hit your hit mitts. You're gonna be greasier than bacon on a skillet. I mean, I don't know. They fought anyway. Whatever. Alrighty, guys. We're through the meat and potatoes. We're on to the fight that's happening later this evening. Max Holloway v. Arnold Allen. And before I give you my pick, I want to give you a little breakdown. My concern is Max Holloway has had the beating of a lifetime with a lot of people. He's come out of that octagon looking like hamburger meat. And he's not getting any younger, guys. He's not. His chin's not any fresher, no matter how much time he takes off in between fights. He's gotten beat up bad. I mean, that Volkanovski fight was bad. I mean, I think he landed half the best boxer in that division landed half as many punches as the champion did. Wasn't even close. I don't think Volk bled. I think he's bruised. Maybe. Is he the same Max Holloway we've been seeing? I don't think so. In fact, I think he's a little slower. Now, that being said, a slower Max Holloway is still better than... I think he's better than... I still think he beat Yair, and Yair's the interim champion. I think that should be Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway shouldn't have been thrown down as far as he was. I think Yair should have fought Max for the interim belt instead of Emmitt Smith. Again, what's Dana's grandmaster plan? Is he accepting the fact that if Volk ever breaks through at 155, he's done with 145? Because if that ever becomes the case and Max is still around, which he said he has a lot left in him, Max will be champion in a year. If Volk and Islam rematch after this Yair business, and I know Volk will beat Islam a second time. Islam looked bad, and the judges gave Islam that fight. Hot take. I don't know. Again, I have Volk bias, but I watched that fight diligently. Maybe not sober, but as an MMA fan, Volk won that fight. And if Volk breaks through, that is a fresh start for Max Holloway. Max Holloway will be champion. No one will stop him in that division if Volk goes through. Volk is the bane of Max Holloway's 145 run. It's been Volk there the whole time. Volk took the belt from him, and Volk held it from him. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it's kind of like the Izzy Pereira situation, except all MMA. And there has not been a win on the other side yet. And I don't think there ever will be. I mean, Volk is just too good. He's too good. I have down here, how much more could Max take at 145? Well, I did think I answered that just now. I think if Volk leaves, Max is set at 145. But who knows how long that'll take. Does Max get another shot if Volk retains against Yair, or does he get an immediate shot? Like, who's in line? What's the queue even look like, people? I mean, obviously, Dana's just going to do what brings in the most cash flow, revenue, pay-per-view numbers. What's the point of having a number one contendership? What's the point? Are we looking at rankings, or are we looking at, again, what cash value per fight? Does Max get the rematch again and we look at a quad? Or does he face Yair immediately if Yair steals one? What are we looking at? I don't know. I'm just proposing a question to you, the fans. You tell me in comments on the other channels. Tell me what y'all think, because I have no clue on this one. Honestly, because, I mean, what we saw, Moreno and Figueiredo 4 times, boring. Jesus Christ. I think a quadrilogy is the worst thing in sports right now. I think once you are beat and the rubber match is settled, if there even isn't one, like, there should even be a trilogy if you're 2-0. Seriously. You have to be, like, almost like Holloway had to do. You're put 3 or 4 places back, beat those guys, and then earn the trilogy. I think that was right. But 2-0 heading to a trilogy, fuck off. Give me something better. Do better. There's more talent in that division than, I don't know, I have for fingers. There are 12 guys on fire in that division. Make Alex work. He's a fighting champion. I think he fought, 6 or 7 times in the last 2 years? He's a fighter. Make him fight. Make him keep that belt. I don't know. That's one question that I posed on here that I knew that I don't have a straight up answer for. I would love to see Max Yair 2 for a belt. I think Max whoops that dude's ass in 3 rounds, finishes him maybe. I don't know. Max really isn't a KO artist, but he hurts people. I mean, he'll make you quit the strikes. I just think Max Volk 4 is, I don't want to say a waste of time, but I don't think Max can stand in there with that man again. I think if Max faces Volk the 4th time and loses, Max is done. Or he goes up, but he's done at 145. At the end, at the final bell of a 4th title shot at Volk, and it's a loss, Max is either taking his gloves off or he's going up to 155 with Volk. He just can't keep doing it to himself. He can't keep doing it to his family, his kids. It's great money, but you're losing cells of your brain. That dude has whooped your ass 3 times in a row. Spanked you, Max. And that's Terrell's guy. And I know I'm going to get shit, but Terrell, I'm sorry, but I think if Max wins this fight and Volk retains against Yair, your boy's going to have a fight for his career. That being said, I still think Max Holloway is the best boxer in that division. I think he's the best striker, one of the best strikers we've ever seen in the game. I mean, who are we comparing him to, honestly? Israel Adesanya? Yeah. I mean, I can put up an argument that Israel's a little better, a little cleaner, doesn't take as much damage. But we're talking Max Holloway has the most significant strikes landed by 1,300 strikes. Let me say that again. The second place holder for significant strikes total landed is in the 1,600s. while Max has almost 3,000 significant strikes. That's, I mean, how do you even describe that? How do you tell someone who doesn't watch MMA that, hey man, the second best boxer or striker in the whole of this combat sports history has 1,300 less significant strikes than some guy who's active right now, and not call him the best boxer? How do you have that conversation? So yeah, I mean, but where has that gotten him? A solid second place for years? I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, the division's gone stagnant because it has a stubborn champion. It's the same thing with Israel Adesanya at 185. It's a stubborn champion. Max can't break through. I mean, what's left to say? I mean, Volk is so good. He's so good at 145. And he used to walk around as a 200-pound meatball, Australian rugby. I mean, that's a tough bastard. I love Volk. He is my favorite fighter of all time. I love a fighting champion, guys. You're gonna, as the episodes continue to roll on, I love someone who makes themselves earn it every time, who stays in camp 3 times a year. I love a fighting champion. I hate someone who keeps a division stagnant due to inactivity, like a Francis, like a Usman. Oh, I'm frozen.